So not much went India's way on day one of the Southampton test, right from the start when we heard about Ishant Sharma missing out, to the point when Alistair Cook, the English captain, under fire, was dropped when he was still on 15. We'll talk about the day's play with former India captain Sourav Ganguly and former England captain Nasser Hussain in detail. But before I come to the match, I have to talk about this controversy hanging over the series right from the end of the first test, and that's the Jadeja-Anderson spat. Now, earlier, Dhoni came out lashing against the decision to fine Jadeja 50% of his match fees. Very strong comments from a captain who generally does not give away too much, especially in front of the media. Sourav, the ICC today came out and said captains need to respect the ICC's proceedings.
Yeah, but I'm sure captains have emotions. They are allowed to speak once in a while. But as you said, for the first time, I've seen Dhoni speak so much openly out in the air. I think we've paid our 50% of the fine, and that's where we stand. You can ask Nasser the rest. When does England pay the 50% of the fine?
Yes, but Nasser, as a captain, when you feel strongly about something, Dhoni clearly feels Jadeja did nothing wrong. He was there in the mix of the things. He feels his player has been wronged. As a captain, would you have reacted the same way?
Oh, absolutely. If I felt that my player had done nothing wrong, I don't want to speak about the Dhoni, Jadeja, Anderson. I wasn't there. I have not seen anything that happened off the field. But if I felt strongly about my player and I wanted to speak up about my player, I would do that 100%, because your players are listening to you and they will back you up. Like with Alistair Cook this week, when Alistair's been struggling, the players have backed him up. And what they want is their skipper out there backing them up. And if Dhoni believes strongly in Jadeja, don't worry about the ICC. Your captain is, your team is more important to you than the ICC. So if he believes strongly in Jadeja, he should speak up for his teammate.
But this is a curious case where there's no CCTV footage available, at least for that day. The staff around didn't see anything happening. How do you solve a situation when it's one man's word against the other or one team's words against the other?
Yeah, good luck with that. That's basically what it is. So maybe they'll just both get fined. I don't know. I don't know how the judge is going to see it, really. It's one person against the other. Then there'll be witnesses that come in. I'm sure both teams will have witnesses that will back up their own team. So it's very difficult unless it happens on the field of play where you can see crystal clear what happened and even what was said. You know, sometimes you can lip read what was said, or on the stump mic you can pick it up. But when it happens in a corridor, no one can be certain. So it is going to be one person's word against another.
But this continues to cast a shadow, Dada, unfortunately, on this series. India, as we were speaking yesterday as well, does well when there's some sort of controversy. It motivates India, it motivates any team. But is there a danger of this getting blown out of proportion a little bit? Because Dhoni has given signs he's not going to back off.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's happened because his teammate has been fined 50%, one of his players, and he would probably want something for Anderson as well. But I think the cricket in this series has been good, so it cannot be more than the cricket what has been played in the series. India was splendid at Lords, and England, I thought, did very well today to come back. It showed a lot of resilience from this English side. So I think cricket will always be above this. This will probably die its death within a few weeks once the meeting happens on the 1st. I think amidst all this, we need to see how good and positive the cricket has been from both sides. So I think that's a lot more to me than this spat of Anderson and Jadeja, which I think is not that big an issue.
Yes, but clearly captains have made it a big issue. Dhoni especially. You're talking about it dying a death. I feel, Nasser, it could actually blow up even more if, and how the Anderson hearing goes, and let's say the Indian team or the English team are not happy with what happens after that, isn't it?
Well, that'll be for the boards to decide. I mean, Dhoni can't, all he can do is say what he has said already. They'll have to wait and see what the verdict is on Anderson. We don't know what the verdict's going to be. So let's not make judgments before that verdict. Once that verdict comes, we will talk, and then the boards will have to decide whether they want to take it further. But, the ICC have done the right thing procedurally. Now let's leave it to the people who have to make the decisions to make their decision.
What would your advice be to both captains, Dhoni and Alistair Cook, about how to deal with an issue like this? Because it's creating an atmosphere of acrimony. At least it did before Lords.
Play tough, play fair, back your players, back them to the hilt, play within the spirit of the game, but also realise that it is important and it adds a bit of spice and flavour. I mean, it was a bit of karma there at Lords with Jadeja running out Anderson as he was trying to dive in. So this series, I agree with Sourav, will be remembered to a degree for Jadeja Anderson. But I'll tell you what this series will be remembered is who wins and loses in the end, because last time India lost 4-0 and there's a bit of payback. Dhoni wants payback to the team on the field, so not off the field. I think there's more interested in what goes on the field.
All right, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Keep watching our special, the Grudge Series. Sourav and Nasser will stay with me and we'll be right back and take their opinions on the day's play and just what both teams need to do going ahead in the Southampton test. Nearly 250 runs for England on the first day of the third test. This is exactly what we are talking about, Sourav. Lots of time in this series, lots of cricket to be played, and England can bounce back. Missed out on his 26th test 100, but this innings will do the world of good for him.
Yeah, and I feel happy for him because, I've been in that situation before as captain. I've been criticised. I've gone through rough periods. There's no captain in the world who hasn't. I've seen Rahul Dravid couldn't get a run in England in 2007, the series we won. I remember that innings at Oval when he was batting with me. I joined him when he was batting on 2 and I was batting on 60 and he was batting on 10. So it happens to the best, and you don't want the best to be grilled and looked down poorly, because he's a class act and he comes across as a good human being. You can see that on his face. So I'm very happy for him that he's done well. It'll take a lot of pressure off his shoulders, and we will see a better captain in Alistair Cook as the test match progresses. So when you see a big player doing well, you feel good about him, and England are in a good position in this test match, and they are in a position where they will probably have to set the game up for themselves, because this is a flat pitch. Day 2, day 3 would be good batting surface, and you need India to bat poorly one innings. And that could set the test match up. So it's 5 days cricket, on the flat pitch in Nottingham. On 5th morning, India had their problems when Stuart Binney played a good knock to save the test match. So it's far from over. It could be a flat pitch, but there's still some story to be done as the test match goes on.
Yes, Nasser, Alistair Cook, so much was not going right for him. He stuck it. He said he was desperate to continue as the England captain. Where have all those former captains gone who were asking for him to be sacked or for him to quit?
Yeah, I don't think it's actually changed that much, really. The ones, I can't speak for everyone, but my personal opinion of Alistair is what's best to get him back getting runs. And I think, what do England need most? Is it Cook the captain or Cook the batsman? What do India fear most? Australia, what do they fear in Alistair Cook? Is it his captaincy or his batting? I would say it's his batting, because his record against both those sides is phenomenal. His record is phenomenal, full stop. So can he carry on? Can he get runs while he's captain? It was notable today that he won the toss, batted. He had no mental baggage, no scarring, no long last wicket partnership, no worrying about the bowling changes, no 2 days in the field. He could just be Cook the captain, so Cook the batsman rather. So there is a sign there for England. If they want Cook to go back to being the run machine that he once was, maybe some stage they're going to have to lift the burden of captaincy off his shoulders. I mean, look what happened to Sachin. Sachin was given the captaincy and it didn't quite work out for him, and then after he was captain he went on to be the phenomena, carry on getting millions of runs. So there's some tough decisions still to be made by England and Alistair Cook, because and you could see from the fans here today, they want to see Cook getting runs again today, not just today, but for a long time.
So you're saying that still there's an issue about him continuing as captain and whether he can carry on the load. So I have to ask you this question. It's not going to happen in the middle of the series. If it happens after this series, do you think it could? And who after Alistair Cook then?
Look, I don't like debating in the middle of a series, really. All I've ever said on this subject is that I want to see Cook the batsman back. I played with him at Essex. I've seen him play. I've seen him get 25 test match hundreds. England are going through a lean period at the moment. They need him back. At the end of this series, whichever way it goes, they need to sit down and discuss, is that the right thing? How is it? Is it the right thing with the captaincy for him to do that? Is there a future captain? They won't play again after this series until the Caribbean in April, which is a long way away. There's a World Cup coming up. So England still have to make some decisions, because he's still got a few technical issues. Just one game, if he'd been caught by Jadeja for 15, things would be so different. So he himself on interview tonight said, I'm a work in progress still. I'm trying to get myself forward. I'm trying to force myself forward, which is not an easy thing for him to do. He's played off the back foot all his life, really. So he will work hard. One thing that's undoubted about Alistair Cook, he will work hard. And the other thing is undoubted about him is that his mental capacity. That must have been immense. Sourav's spoken about it. I've been through it as captain. The mental strain you're under when everyone's saying you must go and you're not getting runs, to do that and play the way he did today shows that he's a mentally tough cricketer.
Yeah, but you will get through those periods as a captain, and if Alistair Cook wants to be captain of England, which he wants, he'll have to find a way to keep that away from himself, because nobody kicks a dead dog. You got to be captain of England. Nobody criticizes a Virat Kohli, nobody criticizes an Ian Bell. Dhoni gets criticized, Alistair Cook gets criticized, Michael Clarke gets criticized, Sachin Tendulkar as captain gets criticized. So if he wants to do the job, he'll have to create a zone for himself where he's got to find a way to keep out of it, or read it and forget it. I think that's the hard bit to do, but the best thing is not to read it. Decide that till I'm captain of England, I'll do what my heart says is right for England, because I've been given a job. I cannot be a Hussain, I cannot be a Gower, or I cannot be a Ian Botham. I can be Alistair Cook, and I'll do what I know best. I've done well for England as a batsman, so I have qualities to succeed at the international level. So I will try and translate that, because the biggest mistake you do as a captain is when you walk out on the field and you take decisions thinking, am I right? What will people talk about me? What will my critics talk about me? What will the media write tomorrow morning? He doesn't need to worry about that. He'll still be a legend in England whether he captains or he doesn't captain, and I think he's got to get that in his head. He's got to be a bit bullheaded. We need to take him back to India for 3 months, get him battered for 3 months, and then send him back to England. He'll realize life's a lot easier here.
Well, we wish him the best. It felt like it was coming. We wish he does well, but maybe not too well for India. We don't want Alistair Cook in full flow. But Gary Balance, consecutive centuries. In him, England have found the perfect number 3.
Yeah, and a perfect replacement for Jonathan Trott, really. I mean, Trott was a run machine that just went unnoticed, similar to Gary Balance. Obviously different being left-handed, and completely different, and he's such a back-foot player, and Trott used to walk forward at the bowlers. So I like the tempo of his innings. He'll start slowly and you think, oh crikey, it's going to be a long time today watching Gary Balance. But then suddenly you'll realise bowlers are tiring, bad balls, and he'll go boom, 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 and you look up and he'll have 50 off 70 deliveries.
He almost caught up with Cook in the end.
Absolutely, and he's done that 3 times now in 3 Test hundreds, and it shows that he's got a lot of strength of character and he knows his game, and quickly he's learnt how to play Test match cricket. I mean, really quickly. Usually it takes 10 Test matches, but not for Gary Balance.
Right, let's talk about India and perhaps a few issues that could create problems for India. Before I ask Sourav, Nasser, your view on Ishant missing in this Test match, and just how big a blow that will be, and how impressed you were with his replacement Pankaj Singh.
I thought Pankaj Singh bowled really well, to be honest. I thought it was a massive blow first up this morning when I was out there in the middle, and he went up to Fletcher and they were talking, and I knew the injury, and he wasn't playing. I thought, crikey, the bloke who's just got 7 wickets and bounced England out, that's a massive blow. But when I saw the lad on debut, I've never seen him bowl before, Singh, and he bowled brilliantly. He really did. I mean, he could have had 2 weeks, should have had the England captain out, he should have had an LBW. He'll bowl a lot worse than that and get wickets. For a lad on debut on a pretty good pitch, I thought he did absolutely fine, to be honest. I think I'm surprised he hasn't played already. That's how good I think he bowled. I'm surprised he hasn't played already.
Well, he has waited a long time. He's 29. He's had 5-6 stellar seasons with Rajasthan. One of them which they won. They were the champions. It has come a long time. Dada, your advice for someone like Pankaj Singh? You've seen a lot of young players blossom under you. You've helped them grow on in the international stage. If you were captain right now, how best to make use of Pankaj Singh and help him?
I thought Dhoni used him well. I think he's a consistent bowler. I think all those work in domestic cricket, you can see it. He bowls the right line. He doesn't give much away. He was a bit unlucky today with the dismissal of Alistair Cook. If the catch would have been taken, and if that LBW decision of Ian Bell would have been given, he probably would have finished with a couple of wickets at the end of the day and would have had a good day. But all I can say to him is that he's got 4 or 5 years of cricket left in him. Give everything he's got. That's my advice. I think he's learned the hard way, so he'll value every opportunity of his, and I thought he was good today. And I think if Mohammad Shami doesn't do well, once Ishant Sharma comes back fit, he could be a good third seamer for India.
Yes, I remember reading Pankaj Singh saying after his national call-up that I'll do anything to get wickets and to get and stay in the Indian team. That's really where he's coming from, waiting as long as he has. Final comments about India's lineup. A lot of talk about Ashwin not featuring in the lineup. Quickly, before I go to Nasser, Dada, do you think it's time to play Ashwin? Perhaps he should have played in this one.
Yeah, I think playing Stuart Binney at the start of the series was a gamble. Nobody knew how he would react, but Dhoni went in with positive mindset that I need 5 bowlers, and he can do that. I know I'm not saying that he cannot win with 4 bowlers, but when you've succeeded with the way Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Jadeja gave you runs with the bat, Ashwin can bat as well. He's not a muck with the bat, so he can take that option and the risk of playing in another bowler, because he's 1-0 ahead. If he can beat this England team, he'll go back home winning the series after 7 years. So it's a massive opportunity for him, and I really don't want to see him defensive. I'm not saying playing Rohit Sharma is a defensive move, but a 5 bowler is always better than 4.
Everyone's asking this question, Nas. Why isn't Ashwin playing? Everyone I've spoken to, do you feel India should go with Ashwin in?
No, personally, I think Ashwin's an excellent cricketer, and sort of cricketer Fletcher likes. He gets runs, he gets wickets. I just don't think at the moment 2 spinners in England are the way to go, and they're not preparing pitches for spin because they've not got any. Every pitch now will be a little bit green to start with. Right now, it might have been different if Ashwin had played, but they lost the toss there. Right now, who do they need? With England getting runs in their first innings, they need a lot of batting, because he's right. The key to this game now is India have to bat well twice, not just once. If they're bowled out cheaply once, they could be in trouble. There's no reason. Listen, with Rohit Sharma, who I really rate, I think he's a fabulous player, at 6, Dhoni 7, Jadeja 8, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar at 9, Shami's got a half century at 10. Look, that's a lot of hard work for England's 4 seamers to get through twice. So right now, I think India should be pleased they've got Rohit Sharma in their side, because they're going to need first innings runs.
All right, final comments. The day belonged to England, but percentages-wise, Sourav, how does it stand for you right now?
Obviously, it's one side has used the pitch, the other hasn't, so you cannot say it stands for whom, but obviously England has had a good day. England need India to falter 1 inning. If they can get India out cheaply 1 inning, they'll set the test match up for themselves, because it's still a very good batting wicket.
All right, 70-30, 80-20. Nasser, what does it look like?
90-10 England, but they have to score quicker tomorrow, because Dhoni will be quite defensive with Jadeja, but England need to realise they need time to bowl India out twice. So tomorrow Butler needs to score quickly, Bell, these guys down the order, get their runs quickly.
And then a couple of the English changes will come into effect as well, Vokes and Jordan. That was the analysis from Nasser, Hussain and Sourav Ganguly. Keep watching Headlines Today. We'll keep getting you the best from the Grudge Series.